got a question from Ed. Ed says, it's a very quick question. I have heard you mention isometric holds at the bottom of the goblet squat and the benefits for the midsection. Yeah, so there's in the new armor building formula book that I just came out with, I discuss two of my favorite ways to build up the abdominal wall in the seat in the bottom of a goblet squat. One is goblet squat with curls. And of course, when people say, Dan, where do you get those armacondas? That's my secret exercise. And the other one, this exercise in my gym is called a heartbeat. You're holding the bell by the horns and you pop it in and out, like a punch, maybe, boom, And at the seat at the bottom, you do 10 heartbeats and you'll really teach your abdominal wall what it's supposed to do. But there's another thing we have this little test. That's funny. This was a thing we were doing every week. I got to tell you, I would even say a couple of years. We had the 3-minute and the 6-minute test. The 6-minute is twice as long as the 3-minute, in case you have a question. But the idea of that was this: is that you can do anything. We use an analog clock, and I can't believe I called it an analog. But with a second hand. So when the second hand hits 12, you do a squat. You sit right back down on the bottom. When the second hand hits the 6, you do a squat and you sit right back down. So if you do the 3-minute, you're going to, every 30 seconds, you do a squat. And it is interesting because it's the accumulation of this that's the real problem. I mean, you're not doing very many squats. I mean, it's probably in 3 minutes, it'd be one more than two. So it'd be 6 or 7 squats, depending on if you start with a squat and finish with a squat, which we do. Now, at the 6-minute one, I got to tell you, it's not a lot of squats, but it's that time under tension at the bottom that I think is so helpful. So there's 3 ideas for you, Ed. Bottom position goblet squat with curls. Not only do you build your pythons, but you also teach your whole body what it is to do what Tim Anderson calls that reflexive strength. Every time you do a curl, your entire body has to respond to that movement. With heartbeats, it's a lot faster. And I think you're actually training the ab wall the way it should be. The abs are, of course, they should be a fast twitch muscle fiber. I think the best way to train abs is vomiting. Sneezing is another good way. You want the ab wall to snap. That's why javelin throwers tend to have such great abs. So that's another one. And then, of course, this 3 or 6 minute drill. For those of you who think, you listen to me and you say, oh, that's a good idea. Try the 3 minutes. So, every 30 seconds you stand up and then squat right back down for 3 minutes. It is so much harder than it sounds when I say it out loud, but it really does. I think sometimes, Ed and gentle listeners, I think sometimes taking more time to really push that whole core column, whatever you want to call it this week, to really push it, to remind it that it's constantly trying to hold on to that reflexive strength, I think is a real valuable tool to master. So thank you. Easy question, and thank you.